Welcome to JJ Sports Talk, the channel for the sports you love. In this video, I'm going to be talking and discussing the college football playoff semifinal games and my thoughts about them. The first game was Alabama versus Notre Dame, and the second game was Ohio State versus Clemson. I'm just going to be breaking down the games, about how the players played and my thoughts about it, and let's get into the video. Hey guys, and welcome back to JJ Sports Talk, and today I'm bringing you guys another college football video, and I'm sure you can guess what it's about because I'm wearing my Ohio State jersey. I'm talking about the college football playoff semifinals that just happened last weekend, and then I'm going to talk to you about the national championship that's coming up on Monday, and then I'll also throw in my thoughts on the Heisman because the Heisman was announced yesterday night. Well, this will probably come out on Wednesday. It'll come back out. This probably come out on a Thursday or Friday. This is a Wednesday, so on Tuesday night the Heisman was announced, and I can talk about that. But I might as well get right into it. I'm not trying to make this a super long video for you guys. You guys tend to like the shorter videos, so I'll try to keep it brief for you guys, but while also giving you guys good thoughts on the game. So first, I'm gonna start with my trivia question. As always, the trivia question is: when was the last time that Ohio State and Alabama played in football? It's not a very hard question, but if you guys have a guess, then feel free to throw it in the comments or just think to yourself, and I'll give that to you at the end of the video. So, the first semifinal game, we had number 1 Alabama versus number 4 Notre Dame in the Rose Bowl. And as predicted, the score does not simulate that Alabama dominated this game. Alabama won 31-14, actually the least amount of points they've scored all year, which I guess you can chalk that up as a win for Notre Dame if you're a Notre Dame fan. But, in the context, it's not that much of a win because they still lost. Everyone predicted this. No one thought Notre Dame was going to win. The only glimmer of hope Notre Dame had is that they were down 14-0 right off rip. They had about an 8-minute drive, went down and scored, and it was a 7-point game, kind of had some momentum, but then from there on it was done. They were just controlled by Alabama the entire game. Alabama did not hold back. They just play such an excellent, well-rounded game. There's no weakness. Their defense. I say the only thing that's weak about them is their defensive points, but their whole defense as a whole is kind of weak, but they have individuals on their defense that are super good. Patrick Surtain's first-round pick. Their D-line's pretty solid. They're impressive. And to give you some of the stats, I had Notre Dame's Ian Book went 27 for 39 for 229 yards, roughly in there, something like that. I can't read my own handwriting. And then he went for 0 touchdowns passing and then threw an interception. And then he had 16 rushes for 64 yards and a rushing TD. And then Kyron Williams had 16 rushes, 69 yards, and then a touchdown. Obviously, if I got any of those wrong, I don't think you guys really care, but it doesn't really matter on the Notre Dame side because they really struggled. None of their receivers really made an impact. They held them in check. But the run glimmer hope was Kyron Williams' rushing touchdown that they couldn't build off of that, besides a late touchdown. Then on the Alabama side, wow. Mac Jones went 25 for 30 for 297 and 4 touchdowns. I've never been high on Mac Jones this entire season. I think that he's just he's a quarterback that has a lot around him to work with. It's pretty easy to put stats up like that when you have Smith, Mechie, Billingsley, a solid tight end in Forrestall, Najee Harris in the backfield, and a super good offensive line. You can put up stats like that. That's why he was in the Heisman conversation. I like Mac Jones as a player. He's solid, but, is he really the true juggernaut of this team? I don't think so. Many of you can probably disagree with me, but I think that the quarterbacks that preceded him have been a lot better. Think about it. Tua, Jalen Hurts. I'd take I don't want to say I'd take A.J. McCarron over him, but A.J. McCarron was also solid. I think I don't know. I'm not going to sit and diss in here on Mac Jones, but 4 touchdowns, and 3 of them came to a guy I'm about to talk about. So, there's that. Najee Harris went 15 carries for 125. No touchdowns, but Najee's an absolute beast. If you're going to win this game, you have to stop this guy. If you not stop this guy, you're not going to win the football game. That's why Florida lost, because he controlled that game in the SEC championship. But they just pound him over and over again, just pounding the rock to him. I mean, if you don't stop him, you will not win the football game because he will control you. I mean, they have no problem running him on 3rd and long because he's so hard to tackle and so shifty. I mean, he's gotten so much better since his freshman year. Billingsley had 4 receptions for 39 yards and a touchdown. Mechie had 30 receptions for 53 yards. And then the guy, man, Devontae Smith, 7 receptions, 130, and 3 touchdowns. Tied the Rose Bowl record for touchdown receptions in the game. I mean, man, he's good. He's good. He's a juggernaut to stop. He's not a big guy. He's a smaller, skinnier guy, but he is fast. He is so fast. I've noticed it since his first game at Alabama that he's been one of the fastest guys. I mean, obviously, he had that winner in the national championship against Georgia a few years ago. You're not going to stop him. He's going to get receptions on you, but it's all about controlling him and limiting his receptions, which I'm interested to see how Ohio State does, but we'll get to my thoughts on that. So, that wraps up that game as expected. It went down like people thought. Notre Dame goes down to Alabama. No one was arguing that was going to happen. In fact, me and my dad in the last video said that was going to happen. But this next game, I don't think anyone was expecting, including me. Number 2, Clemson versus number 3, Ohio State. Obviously, Ohio State was doubted. I'm going to keep this very unbiased. I'm just going to talk about the game. Ohio State was not. People didn't want him here. No one wanted him here. They didn't think They didn't think that Ohio State was that good, and they beat Clemson 49-28, convincingly. I watched the whole game. It was convincingly, and I mean, you can say all this stuff about Dabo threw things in the fire. He said that he didn't think that affected anything, but calling Ohio State the 11th best team in the country is kind of disrespectful. And I watched all the players talk about it after the game. All of them were like, we ain't the 11th team in the country. I'm like, man, Dabo, they took that to heart, dude. Like, they cared about that. And as much as you don't want to say that you didn't help fuel that, they cared about that statement. But some stats for you. Trevor Lawrence went 33 for 48, 400 yards and 2 touchdowns and an interception, and then 1 rushing touchdown, which, I mean, they lost the game, but man, that is good. He is just such a good player, man. I mean, I respect Trevor Lawrence. I don't like Clemson, but I respect Trevor. He's a good quarterback. He's going to be the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. And I seriously think that if he didn't miss those 2 games, he would have won the Heisman. But he did. But nonetheless, he played an excellent game. I watched it. Ohio State just outmuscled him. Travis Etienne went 10 for 10 rushes, 32 yards, and a touchdown. And then Cornell Powell caught 8 passes for 139 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, Clemson fought in this game, but I mean, Ohio State played their best game, and they played all year. Justin Fields went 22 for 28 for 385 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 1 interception. But no one cares about that interception because he threw 6 touchdowns. I mean, seriously. He was doubted coming out of that Northwestern game because he knows he didn't play very good, and then he comes out and throws 6 touchdowns. I mean, wow. He was so good. And I'll talk about him in a second. But Trey Sermon had 31 rushes, 193 yards, and 1 touchdown. Fields had 8 rushes for 42 yards. Olave had 6 catches, 137, and 2 touchdowns. Jameson Williams had 3 catches, 62 yards, a touchdown. And the tight ends, man, Luke Farrell and Ruckert. Ruckert had 3 for 55. Farrell had 2 for 11, and Ruckert had 2 touchdowns, and Farrell had a touchdown. Man, the tight ends came through tonight. Oh, not tonight, sorry, but they came through. But the 2 biggest parts of our team right now. Oh, I mean, kind of the same. I mean, I kind of put them in the same category. That controlled this game, and that if they control it in the national championship, they will win. First, most of all, defense. Defense was impeccable against Clemson. They played out of their minds. Our D-line, Togiai, Tyreek Smith, all those guys, Haskell Garrett, and then our linebackers, Warner and Tough Borland. Those guys controlled the entire game. And then when they were, our corners were making plays. They were all over the place. Our defense, good as I've ever seen them play since last year. I mean, we lost so much talent, and the fact that they came out and played that well against this Clemson team was impressive. And if they play like that in the national championship, I think we can win. Because if our defensive line controls the game, complete game changer. I mean, I'm serious. And then the second part is Fields and Sermon. Sermon, I've been calling for him the entire year. He is a beast. He is this. My dad said it, and I'll repeat it. This is a repeat of 2014, when Zeke Elliott came in, and he had a good year, but he came in the playoffs and just ran, man. That dude was a beast. And Sermon, I'm not saying Sermon Zeke Elliott, but I'm saying he's running like him. He's controlling games on the ground. We're finishing with him. And this dude, Clemson went down, scored right away. We came back with Trey Sermon, threw a screen to him, hurdled a guy. Next play, we scored. It's that simple, guys. I'm being completely serious with you. I'm not trying to say we because I'm not trying to be unbiased here, but there's a lot of things that Ohio State can do to win this game. But before I talk about the national championship preview, I want to talk about this Heisman. And obviously, if you didn't get the hint earlier, Devontae Smith from Alabama, wide receiver, won the Heisman. The other people that were in the running were Trevor Lawrence, Kyle Trask, and Mac Jones, his quarterback, and obviously Devontae won. I said that he should win. A lot of people thought he should win. First receiver to win the Heisman since 1991. It's pretty impressive if you think about it. It's been a long time. Desmond Howard was the last one to win it. But I just want to throw that in there and just say that he's definitely deserving of it. He had an excellent year. Imagine if they actually played a full year, not a simplified year, but he's just a beast. But, obviously that adds motivation for Ohio State going against the Heisman winner, because who doesn't want to beat the Heisman winner? Who doesn't want to outplay the Heisman winner? And I think that's a good segment into my last topic, which is just previewing the national title game. Alabama, number 1 Alabama versus number 3 Ohio State, but throw the rankings out of the window. It is man versus man right now. This is a very anticipated national championship for me, at least. Saban is an excellent coach, and his squad is good. I mean, this is this is an Alabama juggernaut right now. They've had some juggernauts, but this is a juggernaut. It's really going to be the Alabama offense. People think it's really going to be an offensive battle, offense versus offense, and it is. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be a shootout. I think it is. But I think it's going to be which defense shows up. Because our defense against Clemson showed up and showed out. Clemson went out and scored, had all the momentum, and then we just geared up and played hard. I mean, there's no other way to say it for me. I mean, we played hard, and our defense controlled the game. Our D-line was probably, they looked like the best in the country. They were incredible. And then our linebackers, who have struggled in the past, woke up and played, man. They were excellent. As much as I think the defense is going to control it, the offenses are going to score. It's going to be a lot. Both receiving cores are excellent. They're full of 5-star, 4-stars, and just excellent players. But I think the way that Ohio State can win is by exposing Mac Jones. Because Mac Jones is not a runner. He is a sit in the pocket. I don't want to leave. And Ohio State likes to get the quarterback. They got to Trevor, and Trevor can run. He is a very underrated runner, and we got to him. And a lot of teams don't get to him. And if Ohio State can get to Mac Jones like they did to Trevor, I think they might not be close. But you're going to get beat a little bit. He's going to get it off to his receivers because Alabama's O-line is pretty good. But barring the COVID rumors that have been going around about Ohio State's D-line, hopefully that they're there, Ohio State can get to Mac Jones and Najee Harris and disrupt everything. Because if that's the case, Alabama's offense will be shut down if they can shut down. Mac Jones is the guy who gets the ball out. If they shut him down, all they got is Najee Harris to run the ball, and we can key in on that. But the way Alabama can win is by getting to Fields. And obviously, Clemson tried to. Obviously, Fields took that big hit from Skowski, and Skowski got ejected. But Fields obviously showed toughness throughout the game, playing hurt. And, that's my worry about Fields is that he's kind of, if he takes that big injury, Ohio State's got some quarterbacks behind him, but they don't have experience. So, I mean, if Alabama can rattle Fields, because Fields' confidence hangs on a borderline. If he's playing good, that confidence shoots up. If there's any type of adversity, his confidence winders. I won't say it goes down, but it winders. Clemson, his confidence was sky high. He was taking deep balls, electric plays, touchdowns. Against Northwestern, his confidence was shook, and that's why we were getting beat. So, I mean, it's really going to be a barn burner. But here's what I'll say. I seriously think that Ohio State getting to Mac Jones will affect the entire game because he's not mobile. I'm going to say, this is my prediction, I'm going to say that Ohio State wins the game over Alabama if, barring the COVID people, there's no important people out because they have not released anything. It's all speculation now. But if everyone's healthy and plays, Ohio State wins over Alabama in a shootout. I'm going to say 49. Not 49. I'm going to say 45-38. 45-38. That's going to be the score. Ohio State wins, takes down Alabama, and I'll rest on that because Alabama could definitely win, and I don't expect a blowout whatsoever. It's going to be close. I mean, you can save this video if you think if I'm wrong on all that, but that's all I got to say about that, man. I'm excited for this game. It's going to be awesome. Super exciting. I hope it's a great end to a weird season. But that's all I got for you. So I might as well answer the trivia question. So the trivia question is, when was the last time Ohio State and Alabama played in football? The answer to that is 2014 in the Sugar Bowl. And Ohio State won that game 42-35 as big underdogs in the first year of the playoff. So, hey, maybe they can win it again and go back to except that time they went to the national championship off that game and they won. But that was also the last time they played a Heisman winner in the national championship and they won. So we'll see what happens. I'll obviously make a video talking about the national championship and all that stuff. But otherwise, that's all I got for you. I appreciate all the support on my channel right now. A lot more people are watching my sit-down videos, and I really appreciate all the support from you guys. If you have any video ideas you want me to do, just drop them in the comments. I can always think about doing them. I'm always up to do videos for you guys. Yeah, that's all I got for you. Thank you for watching JJ Sports Talk. Goodbye.
So the national championship matchup is set. We have the Alabama Crimson Tide, the champions of the Rose Bowl, and they will be taking on the Ohio State Buckeyes, the champions of the Sugar Bowl. I'm anticipating a really fun matchup in the national championship, one that hopefully will go down and as a good game that caps this weird season. But the matchup is set. Hopefully I gave you guys a good educational video talking about the game and breaking it down. And yeah, thank you for watching.